You know, I don't know. It's a weird process where, you know, I've done it, I guess, over the years, you know, on and off for like 20 years, and I don't feel like I get better at it anytime I go, because you can't ever be two places at once. You can't ever be two things at once. When you're acting, just by the very nature of what it is you have to be in the moment, and you have to be listening to the person you're talking to. And if you're thinking about something else, then you're not going to be there. And now, sometimes for the character, you know, Walter, who's a daydreamer, sometimes that could work. You know, you could be thinking about something else and not listening. So I could be thinking about if we're getting the shot right, but it looks like I'm daydreaming. But honestly, I didn't want to do that. Everything I do is basically to try to get, when the day of shooting, I can be as much of an actor as possible and as much of a director for the other actors as possible. I feel like that's the goal for the day of shooting. So going back to prepping it, you know, having as much prep time as possible. On this movie, I was lucky to have, you know, a good 6 or 7 months of prepping it, so that there's a real plan for the day of shooting by the time we got there. And I rehearsed all the scenes with the actors a few weeks before we ever shot, you know, before the day of shoot, because it's so tense and pressured on shoot days because it's so expensive. So I would rehearse with the cinematographer and with, you know, other actors, and I'd have a friend of mine, Matt Levin, who's a really good actor, who I would do the scene, and then he would step in and be me in the scene, so I could go and look through lenses and figure out shots, and then we'd videotape that, and then I'd do like a little edit of that. So I have this edit with my editor that I've done that I can just see and look at and know. So, you know, I get a feel for it, and then I go in to shoot on the day, and so everybody knows what we're doing, and then you can allow the freedom for, you know, Adam Scott comes up with a great idea, or, you know, Kristen starts improvising, and you can go with that, and you're not thinking about how am I going to figure out how to cover this scene, because that's the most important thing, I think, is just to, you know, and then try to be easy on yourself as an actor. I feel like that was the thing I learned on this movie for myself. I just felt like I had to give myself a break as an actor, because I would want to move on quicker as a director and just get it over with. And I would try to give myself more takes and sort of bracket it a little bit, and just knowing that ultimately, like, if the audience didn't connect with the character, if I didn't give myself enough of a chance to be Walter in the and have those choices in editing, then you know, the movie wouldn't work. And that was like the biggest lesson for me, I think, working on this one.